everyone, it's Kim. I'm going to make a soap batch called Fairytale. It's for a soap swap that I'm doing on Lone Star Soap and Toiletries conference that I'm going to go to in June. And the scent blend is lavender and lemon, lavender, and lollipops. Okay? And it reminds me of a fairy tale. So I've already got a little bit of Greek yogurt and some goat's milk and my colloidal oatmeal in here. And I'm going to go ahead and add my lye water with silk and sodium lactate that's in there. I already made up the batch of stuff that I'm going to use for my piping, because I'm going to pipe some Spanish lavandula, which is like a species of Spanish lavender where they look like they have little feathers on the top of them. That's always been my favorite lavender. Okay, so let me mix this up. I made 2 other batches last night, and one of them I had made too thin because I had separated too much out for the piping. So I decided to go ahead and use those. The bars were still 6.5 ounces, but since I had the other ones and they were so much bigger, I can't like mix them up because they're supposed to be kind of, the same when I'm, going to bring 30 bars. So I'll keep the ones that have the pink color if you've seen them on my Facebook page. And I'm going to make another batch with the multi-swirl. I'm going to add a little bit of, I'm going to go ahead and add my fragrance oil. This is an 80-ounce batch of oils and butters. It has coconut butter, avocado oil, sunflower oil, olive oil, castor oil, and coconut oil. It doesn't have any palm. I'm still unsure about this recipe as far as whether I want to continue with the no palm instead of just using sustainable palm. I don't know. I'm just on the fence. Because I really haven't had a chance, because the other ones are curing, to really, try it out. Okay. So let me go ahead and add some of this. Do I want to do that, or do I want to mix my pink first? I might want to pour some out for my pink, because the pink doesn't like to... It doesn't like the... titanium dioxide. It's too hard for it to be colored. This is hot pink mica from, what's that place called? The Conservatory. Okay. Let me put this in first, so I'll have that mixed, and then I'm going to mix some up with some Fuller's Earth clay. I'm going to add a swirl of that, and what else? And some moss green. Okay, so let me go ahead and pour some off of those 2. Move this to the side. Let me get my green. And my clay. I like the golden color that the Fuller's Earth clay has. Or it's Multani Midi. Get some more pink. Oops. There you go. It's almost empty. Okay. Oh, not now. Just get some of that pink off. And this green is from Nurture Supply, and it's moss green. Okay, now let me get my mold. Let me just go ahead and pour this in. I know this fragrance will discolor. So I figured the design will have kind of an aged look, but hey, storybook, fairy tale, it's okay. It's just dropped in, and then I'll just kind of take the chopstick and swirl it around a little. Oh, I'm such a mess. Oh gosh. Okay, there's that. Let's do this one. Maybe I can not spill it. Okay. Let me get a chopstick here. First up, I'm going to wipe this off. Yeah. Such a slob. Okay. That's it. Make sure I have it level here. And then let me get my piping bags. How's this stuff? Oh, perfect. I hope I have enough now. Well, it's amazing how a little bit of batter will go a really long way when you're piping it. Let me move that forward. Only reason I have a coupling, you usually don't have to use the couplings, the little plastic things for with the bags, but the tip was so, it's just the round little skinny tip, like to write names and stuff like that, and I'm using it for the stems and the leaves on this Spanish lavandula plant, the mimicking it, and so it's such a sharp like tip that the bag doesn't really want to conform to it, right? And I'm afraid it would leak, so I decided to go ahead and use a coupling. So this is just the regular petal tip, and it'll be used for the part of the flower that's like, it looks like feathers. And here is the main part of the little lavender flower. And it's just a star tip. And I colored this with Magic Violet from from the conservatory. It and their hot pink are my two favorite go-to colors as far as from them. Okay. So I can bring the I like to use an old credit card or some kind of like one of those little freebie gift cards or whatever to scrape all of it down so you don't waste any of it. I'm just going to cut the excess off so it doesn't get inside my soap here. Scrape this one down. See how well that works? I buy the larger bags only for when I don't know why, just because I'd rather have too big of a bag and be able to cut it off than have too small of a bag to work with and then not have enough room when I'm doing different projects. Okay, so the first thing you do with these flowers are, let me go check and see if you can see. I'll scoot the thing back. Is you use the large end of the tip, and you put that at the bottom. And you just kind of bring it forward and pull it back vertically. And I'm putting two little pieces like that. And I'm just randomly doing this. All over, because then I'll come in and put the barrel fat part of the little lavender bud on there. And if you just Google Spanish lavandula or Spanish lavender, and you'll be able to see what the actual plant looks like. They look like little purple feathers flying in the wind. They're real pretty. And like I said, this scent blend is like a lemon lavender lollipop. So if you feel like you're squirting some, you can just scoot it all down. See how well how just a little bit. This was 8 ounces of batter. When I make my flowers, I know I've said this before, when I make the flowers and I pre-make them on wax parchment paper, I always work with 8 ounces. I can always go back in and make another 8 ounces if I don't have enough have a flower for a project, but to work with a whole pound is just way too much to hold on to and to keep control over the the bag. This little bag like this just works so much better when you're working with it. And see, I have plenty. There'll be excess here that I'll squeeze off into a little cupcake holder, and I usually will use this little excess stuff for like the bars that I use in my bathroom and stuff, because it doesn't matter what they look like. It's just for me. But I like the scent, and the oils and the butters are good. Okay, if I see another one, here, one right there. Okay, then I take this and I just kind of squeeze it and bring it down to where it makes a little, I don't know what you would call that, but if you look at the actual flower on the internet, you'll see what they look like. And I think that in a abstract way, this mimics it enough. You're looking at it upside down because these little feather things at the top, that's at the top of the flower. But sorry, I can't work backwards. See how like these little rewards and gift cards come up, they come in handy. Did I get them all? Yep. I'm going to go ahead and put a couple more right here. I just want to make sure that when I cut it, everybody gets a flower, because I get that with my other bars, you know, to make sure now, like when I make my blue corn maiden again, I'm going to make sure that my sunflowers are smaller so I can make sure that people get big hunks of sunflowers on it, because that's a problem. You know, everybody wants to have a whole sunflower on their soap when they get it, or a whole flower at least. Okay, now what I do is I take this, which is just a, let's see if I can read it. It's a number, I guess that's a 7. Yeah, it's a number 7, the round tip, like you would use for writing people's names or whatever when you do a cake. Because this plants have like little spiky, kind of like a rosemary but longer. So I'm going to go ahead and put the stems on first, and then I will add the little part at the bottom of the flower and the leaves. Oops, there's one of those that I forgot. This makes 18 bars, this box. I really need to make me some wood molds so I can have some handles on the sides to grab it and tap it down. But for right now, this is what it is. Those wood molds that I have, that I bought, I could use them without, they're okay for little tiny batches, but they only make like maybe 9 bars. It's too small. If I'm going to the trouble to make all these with these embeds and stuff, I need to at least get 18 bars out of it, you know. As it is, I had to make so many batches just to have enough for this swap. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is clean the tip off. Oh, there's a couple more. Go ahead and add the little like things at the base of the flower. They kind of just stick off. Kind of like a rose. So I made this batter up and colored it before I made my other batch. I mean the main part of the batch. So I would have it ready to go, and it would be thickened up and ready to use in the piping bag. I wish they made cheater. I'm talking about glasses. Cheater glasses, goggles like this, like those neat ones that they sell like at Brambleberry and stuff, but that have prescription because I have to buy these stupid goggles that fog up so I can keep my glasses on underneath. I'll show you a cut bar of the other ones when I get done piping before I turn off the video. Don't normally soak during the week that much, but I wanted to make sure that I have plenty of time for this to cure before the gathering thing. I don't know what it's called, conference, meeting. It's the first one I've ever going to. Okay, let me see one there. Then, for the rest of it, because they have just these little, kind of like rosemary, these little sprigs that just kind of stick off here and there. So I'm just going to go around and randomly put them on. I have to make my pear soap this weekend, hopefully. They turned out so cute. I made little pear embeds. If you don't follow me on Facebook, I'll show you one in just a minute. Yeah, so this is pretty much it. And see, I still have stuff left over, batter. I don't have to use it all. I can just, like I said, I'll put it in my little, I'll squeeze it into a little cupcake mold, and I'll use it for personal use at home, just for, you know, a good smelling bar. So anyway, oh yeah, I want to do this. So I put, on the other ones, I put a little bit of green tea salt. It's just a little bit of a pale green, just for some texture. And then I used from Nurturer Snowflake Sparkle. And it's the only reason I'm using this is because it's Fairytale. There you go. So that's Fairytale. Let me turn it around so you can see it the right way. Those are the little flowers. Let me show you a cut bar. Here's one of them. That's a cut bar with the colors. And then let me show you my pears. And these I'll be working on this weekend. This soap. They smell so good. I know I need to have my head examined. I made these by hand, kind of like the way well, exactly the way I do my figs. They're made with cold process. And yeah. I got the idea from that lady, Sugar and Spice. She made some green ones. And these are actually white on the inside, and they have 2 seeds in them. So hopefully when I cut them, maybe I'll run across a seed. And then instead of using a clove, I actually use CP for little stems. Hope you can see that. So anyway, I'll be showing that. Oh, and then on the inside, on the coating for the speckles, I used apricot kernel powder. So yeah, that's another project that I'll be doing this weekend. So anyway, I'll talk to you later, and have a happy Thursday tomorrow, and see you this weekend.